Nurse Talk. I'm Kim.
And I'm Dira.
And here on Nurse Talk, we talk about trending nurse topics that are happening everywhere. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with our content. But before you go any further, like this video. You're going to like this.
You will. Guaranteed. So today we're actually taking you down to North Carolina, where apparently nurses can be held responsible for what doctors put in as orders. On nurses.org, an article that we came across was nurses can be sued for following doctors' orders, North Carolina court rules. So basically this takes us back to 2010, where a 3-year-old Amaya was getting an ablation for cardiomyopathy. Apparently there were some orders that the doctor and the CRNA both agreed upon, and they gave the medication as such. Unfortunately, Amaya suffered going into cardiac arrest, which then led to some permanent damages.
Right. So, yeah, the child suffered with cerebral palsy and some permanent brain damage after being resuscitated. That caused the parents to go ahead and try the nurse, the doctor, and the hospital, and they ended up reaching a settlement. But then after years passed, they went ahead and appealed and retried the case. Now, in the retrial, they came up with this new law.
Originally in 1932, there was a law called Byrd versus Hospital, which simply stated that if a nurse acts
accordance to the treatment plan,
right,
they can't be held liable.
Right. Only if they do something wildly neglectful,
right,
then they would be held liable.
But here is the issue, that the conflicting issue that I can see that the state was faced with. Since 1932, the nursing practice has transitioned so much, right? So we've come a long way that we have advanced practice nurses, right? CRNAs, and they are more autonomous with their care. So with the changes of the times, it needs to be changes of the law. So that's how they came to this conclusion that now these nurses need to be held more accountable. And in this situation, I guess what they're trying to do is have the back and forth with the doctor so that things like this don't happen. Because if one person would have been like, no, we can't give this medication because of this reason,
right,
there would have been a different patient outcome. And when it was brought to trial, they had interviewed an expert CRNA who ended up bringing up a farm book that basically said that the medication that they gave without giving an intro IV med could be contraindicated for a client with cardiomyopathy. Wildly specific.
Very specific.
Wildly specific, but it really pinpointed where they went wrong with this case. So that's why they were that's
why they were held accountable, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the changes of the laws now, it might look a lot different for nurses down in North Carolina. There might be more of a shortage for sure, because now it looks like within the last year, nurses are being tried and licenses are being taken away. They're being faced with a lot of criminal charges lately. So this is just one of many cases that have been happening.
We already have a lot of nurses that are just leaving the profession altogether. And I think seeing things like this over and over in the news is kind of a turnoff.
Right.
I'm not saying that this legislation was wrong in this situation, because unfortunately the 3-year-old did suffer this, and the parents have to now deal with taking care of this child forever. I just feel that a lot more people are going to be kind of spooked by it and want to, there's other occupations you can do out there, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yep. And then on the other hand, I see how this legislation is good because it gives the community more reinsurance, right? It gives you reinsurance that just like anybody else, if something happens that ends up leading to a fatality or a really bad adverse effect, and it's based off of one specific person's actions, that person is going to be held accountable, not only as far as getting terminated, but also face criminal charges. So I think that also helps people have that ease knowing that, like, okay, you're gonna pay for what you did.
Yeah, because I'm sure it was troubling for the guardians of
absolutely,
of the child.
100%.
Because that's a lot to go through.
Right. So moving forward, I know we talked about this before, but malpractice insurance, malpractice insurance, and malpractice insurance.
Right.
Make sure that you guys are getting your malpractice insurance so that you're covering your tails. When instances happen like this, you want to make sure that not only if you do not have the hospital support or the facility support, that you are able to support yourselves in trying times.
Right. It's definitely worth it in the end.
Just hope you never have to use it because you're that good.
Exactly. You're on point, so you won't have to use it. But just in case, it's there to catch you. So hopefully, maybe he did have the insurance.
We don't know. We don't. The article's very vague. All the articles that are out there are pretty vague on
what the sentencing was, what he got charged with exactly.
But this might be still a developing case.
Right, because that article came out September 2nd, I think it was. 22 this year. So it might still be
in the works.
Right.
So we are definitely going to stay tuned and keep up with the transition of the case and see how this new law affects the overall ruling. Okay. Well, if you guys were interested in what you guys saw today, if you guys have comments, concerns, or you want to add to what we mentioned, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you guys read any articles that had any more information, go ahead and link those articles in the comments so that we can read up on them, so that everyone can get some more info. But,
right. If you know what happened to the CRNA, can you let us know?
Yeah, we want to know. We want to know.
So if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification to keep up with everything that Nurse Talk is doing.
Right. And go ahead and share this to your nurses, especially your nurses out in North Carolina, just so they don't get blindsided, Yeah. All right. Well,
until next time. Bye.
Bye.